What does Opsgenie do? What is its value proposition?
Can I answer?
Yes, Edith?
They provide services to, especially companies have important websites. They just send a notification when their website goes down, so
Yes.
their works continue without stopping, actually.
Yes. I guess value proposition for them would be, and it wouldn't have been something that I would have thought of if I had not heard about this company. So their value proposition is probably less downtime, right? Reduced downtime. If you're a bank and your website doesn't work for an hour, that costs you, millions of dollars. Or if you are an e-tailer, you're selling products online, and your website isn't working, if your programs aren't running, the longer they don't work, the more money you are losing. So Opsgenie doesn't fix these things. It simply makes sure that you or whoever needs to be aware of this is aware of it. Okay? Is this really a big deal? Well, a few years ago, Opsgenie was sold for 295 million US dollars. So apparently, it is a big deal. Okay? And all it does is it checks your website, your servers, your programs, and if there's any problem, if it doesn't respond, if it's not working, boom, it sends out a message, an SMS, an email, and so on, until somebody says, I've got it, I'm working on it, okay? And once somebody in charge, this could be midnight, it could be at noon, it could be on weekends, it could be during Bayram, but anytime things are not working, it knows who is in charge and it lets them know to make sure that the problem is being fixed as soon as possible. So value proposition is less downtime, okay, by letting you know. What else? Well, Uber, right? What is, the problem that Uber tries to solve? Mobility, right? Getting from A to B. But it's often given as a kind of new company, with a new product. But it basically, among the examples they give us, Uber is like a taxi company which owns 0 cars, right? Or the next one, another famous one, a hotel company with no hotels, no rooms. The difference with the Uber and Airbnb is kind of the sharing economy. Rather than building and maintaining the cars, the taxis, the limos, the hotels, all of these, what it does is it creates a marketplace for the buyers and sellers, renters and rentees to simply come together, right? And it provides on-demand access. So with Uber, you just press a button, a car appears. You don't have to rent a car, you don't have to buy a car, you don't have to call up a phone number and get a taxi, nothing, right? It simply arrives, you get into it, you go from A to B. Or Volt lines, right? So this is a company in Turkey run by Ali Khalabi from Lebanon. And what he is, again, he is in ride sharing. So kind of like Uber, except that you share the cost of riding. Well, his initial idea, Volt app, was like that. Then he, I guess, pivoted his idea because not enough people were using ride sharing, even in Istanbul. And this was before Corona, right? So he had gotten an investment. He was running the company. They were actually paying people simply to say, hey, I'm going from A to B with my car at this time. If anybody's interested, click the link and I will pick you up and we will share the costs. So they didn't have to pay taxes on this because they were basically simply offsetting the gasoline and the depreciation of the vehicle. So because it was a small amount, it didn't count as a company making money on this. So they didn't have to have receipts and pay taxes on this. So that was their advantage. But that didn't work. So he pivoted the idea of reducing the traffic problem in Istanbul. Was the big problem that they were trying to solve. Uber is trying to solve the problem of getting from A to B. Airbnb is trying to solve the problem of finding a place to stay, right? When you go to a new place and so on, without having to pay, hotel prices. So Volt Lines said, well, I'm going to work on the traffic problem, but I'm going to work at it from the company's point of view. Every single company in Istanbul, in Ankara, they oftentimes have signed agreements with service companies to basically, rent buses or minibuses to get their employees to their places and take them back in the evening. The problem that they had was that this is quite costly, and many of the buses that they rent are only half full or even less. So what Volt Lines offer them is service sharing. So they still have the buses, but rather than just one company using each of the buses, they say, hey, if your people are working in the same building and going to the same place in Istanbul, Ankara, whatever, they say, well, what if we have people from 2 or 3 companies share the service? And in addition to this, they have a GPS in all of their buses. They give you an estimate of when the service is going to be, in what location, how long it's going to take, and even better, if today you don't want to go home, but you want to go to a friend, or you want to go shopping, if after Corona you try to do that again, you can. So you actually have a number of alternatives between the services available to you at your company. So these were kind of some examples of value propositions, which are a little different, okay? So I look forward to hearing about your examples as well.